Hi everyone, welcome to this recovery flow with me, Sinead Brophy of Go with the Flow Coaching. So today we're going to be working on a flow that's mostly lying on our back. It's going to be quite gentle, quite restorative, really focusing on just nice static stretching, some passive stretching and some deep breathing. So what you might need is a pillow and then also maybe a red band or a strap if you have that. We're going to come down to lie onto our back and we're going to start by just doing some very gentle pelvic tilts along with some pelvic floor breathing. And then we're going to work on some glute bridge segmentation as well. So we're breathing in, tilting forward. We're breathing out, tilting back. Breathing in, tilting forward, soft tummy, breathing out, tilting back. Again, if you want to add a bit of pelvic floor work to this, you're relaxing as we tilt forward and you're slightly engaging and lifting up through the pelvic floor as we pull back. Breathe in. And then we're breathing out, tilting back. Same again, breathing in, tilting forward. And then breathing out, tilting back. I'm going to do that one more time. And on this next one, when we tilt back, we're going to continue. We're going to squeeze the glutes very slightly, rounding through that lower back again. The hands can come down on either side for a little extra support. We're going to hold in this top position. And then slowly round through the spine and come back down. Let's do that again. Nice and slowly peeling that spine off and then back onto the ground. Breathing in, tilt forward. Breathing out, let's lift up through the pelvic floor. Come up, squeeze the glutes, lift up high. Hold. Breathing out, let's peel that spine back down onto the mat. So inch by inch, we're trying to lower down with control. We're going to do that one more time. Breathe in. Breathing out, tilt back, lift up, hips high, squeeze the glutes, round through that back. Think about each section of that spine, lifting up. And then we're going to come back down, nice and controlled, inch by inch. Good, that lower bit of our back is always the toughest to control, so try and take that nice and slow. We're going to cross one leg over the other. This is enough of a stretch. You can just stay here and push this leg away. Otherwise, what we're going to do is squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up, and try and think about driving that knee out to the side. Again, don't necessarily worry about how high you're going. Just think about the glutes being engaged and trying to open the legs out. So I'm driving that knee down towards the mat, opening up the hips. And let's come back down. Same again. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. Hold. Lovely. Let's come back down onto the mat. Pull this thigh in towards the chest. Again, if you want to go a little bit deeper into that glute stretch. If you want to even go for a bit of a hamstring stretch, you can floss the heel up and floss the heel down. This is completely optional. So only do it if you feel like it'll feel good for you. Again, glutes and hamstrings will have been worked if you were in week 2 of my online program. But if you're in any way active, this is always going to be a nice little stretch. We're going to bring this heel back down onto the mat, keep this foot on top. What we're going to do is try and drop the hips out to the side. Let's try and keep the knee pointing up to the ceiling with this foot flat on the ground. So we get a nice deep stretch across the outside of the thigh, maybe into that TFL at the side of our hip. If you're struggling to get this foot on the ground, maybe that's where another pillow comes in to just support that foot. We're trying to keep the torso looking straight up towards the ceiling. We're getting that nice deep stretch all along the outside. Breathe in here, soft stomach. Feel that stomach rise, your hand rise. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. If you want now, let's drop that top knee down towards the mat. Let your hip lift. We're just going into a little bit of a side twist. Again, if you want to have that pillow underneath here, just for a bit of extra support. Otherwise, just placing that right hand on top of that left wrist. And we're just going to reach the left hand out to the side to get a nice deep stretch. Slow and controlled. On the next exhale, bring the legs back in towards the center. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So we are going to cross our right leg over the top of our left knee, drive that knee out. Keep the foot flexed. Again, if this is enough of a stretch, stay here. Otherwise, let's lift the legs up, the hips up, and drive that knee out. Again, as always, there's one kind of active pose in this whole flow, and this is it. We're going to come back down. Let's lift the hips up, drive the knee out. Again, we're thinking about opening up the hips here. Slightly engaging the glutes, just make sure the back isn't doing the work. And then let's lower down. Again, if you want to go a little bit deeper into that, let's bring that left thigh in towards our chest. If you want, you can flex that hamstring. Just doing a few flosses. Heel towards the glutes and then heel up towards the ceiling. Heel in towards the glutes. Heel up towards the ceiling. 1 or 2 more times. Let's lower that foot down towards the mat. Again, try and keep the knee pointing up. We're going to drop the hips and legs out to the side. I'm trying to relatively keep this hip towards the ground. It's lifting a bit, but I'm trying to keep it towards the ground. Thinking about grounding this shoulder and having this knee pointing up. And again, I should feel that lovely deep stretch into the side of the TFL. Maybe a little bit down that IT band. Maybe a little bit into the lower back, but mostly we're looking to target quads. And then you can just see, I'm trying to just take those slow, steady breaths into that stomach. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and then breathing out. If you want now, let's drop that top knee, the right knee down towards the side of the mat. Just place that left hand on top and bring the right hand out to the side. And just go a little bit deeper into that stretch so you can let that right hip lift up off the ground fully now. We're going to just go into that little bit of a side twist. Just breathe deeply here. Nice, slow and controlled. Let's bring the legs back in towards the center. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Give it a little bit of a rock side to side. You can bring one hand on top of each knee and we're just going to roll the hips out again. I know we did this last week, but it's just great for the hips. Rolling it out and around, rolling it back and around, and then let's reverse it. Knees come back the way they came, towards the inside, towards the outside. And then let's place the feet on the ground. We're going to rock the knees out towards one side, let the hips lift up, and then rock out towards the other side, let the hips lift up. So knees come in, drop out. Knees come in, drop out. Get that stretch through the lower back. Maybe feel the hips release. Just trying to relax into it. Again, if this doesn't feel comfortable, then maybe just staying with the feet flat on the ground and just focusing on your breathing. What we're going to do now, we're going to grab that band or the strap. We're going to bring our left leg in towards our torso and then loop the band around our foot. Just make sure that if you are using an elasticated band that it's not going to kind of smack back onto your face, especially if it's one of those ones with the little metal clasps, which I'm not a fan of. We've seen some injuries along the way. So what we're going to do is just gently, we're pulling ourselves into that passive stretch. So we're trying to target our hamstrings here. If it's comfortable, you can straighten this other leg, but if that's kicking in your lower back at all, just keep that knee bent, the foot flat on the ground. If you want, maybe just rotating the ankle a little bit, targeting the calf a slightly different angle. Completely optional, but it's there if you want it. What we're going to do now is take that band in your right hand. Your left hand can come out to the side. And what we're going to do is try and bring that right leg across the torso. And again, you can let that hip lift up if you want. I like to try and get it to a point, if you've got the same flexibility, to bring my elbow down to the mat and I kind of keep that elbow bent. It's almost like it's a bit of a support or a splint almost. Bit of a gurney rope or whatever they call it. Okay, and we're just trying to think about stretching that outside of the hip, outside of the quad, outside of the calf, just depending on where we're tight. And then just with control, we're going to lift the leg back up and out. If you're like me, you need to move for space, please do. You're going to drop that leg out to the side. Tip here, place that right hand on top of the right hip so that that right hip doesn't poke up and roll. If you're stuck for space, you just bend that right knee and just let that knee drop out to the side. So again, you choose what feels best for you. And again, if you want, you can have that right or left elbow, I should say, bent at a 90-degree angle, so it's that little bit of support. As you just let that left leg drop out to the side. Just breathing steady here. Again, just lifting out that with control. If you need to, bend the knee before lifting up and out, just if your inner groin's just feeling a little bit tight. And then let's change it over onto the side. Again, the hamstrings will have been worked if you're doing my online program. So nice stretch on this. Just trying to relax. One, just rotating the ankle to get a little bit of different angles through the calf. And then taking that band in your left hand, let's bring that leg across the torso. Now again, bend that left elbow down, reach the right hand out to the side, and we're just going for that little bit of a side twist again. Really trying to feel that stretch down the side of the leg, wherever you might be tight. I'm going to bring that leg across our body again. Swap hands with that band, and then let's drop that right leg out to the side. Place that left hand on top of that left hip, finding by pinning it down. I'm just going to slowly come out of that again. You need to bend that knee to then lift yourself up and out. Please do. Let's move that band. Place it to the side. And what we're going to do is just roll over onto our side. So choose whichever way is going to face me. Make sure you're going to look space overhead. So you need to move down slightly. Place the head on the pillow. And what we're going to look to do is reach those hands out in front. So similar to the open book pose that you might have done before, what we're going to do is reach that hand up overhead. So we're going to go for some around the world. So your hand is in that prayer position out in front of your chest. We're going to reach that hand up overhead. Once it reaches overhead, we're going to rotate. So we're going to open the inside of the arm up towards the ceiling, lift up and around. And again, if you're stuck for space like me, we're just bending that elbow to come down to the side. If you've got the full space, we're reaching, creating that semicircle with our hand. Let's come back the way we came and reach that hand up overhead. Get a nice big stretch through the lats, through the shoulders, down overhead, and back to the start. We're going to do that 2 more times. Reach up, breathe in, and then Breathe out, let that hand drop down. Take a breath here. Breathe out. Breathe in. And then breathe out, reach. One more time, breathing in, reach that hand up overhead. Trace the fingers along the mat. Breathing out. Bring that hand down and around to the side. Open up the pec. Breathe in here. Breathe out here. Breathe in. Reaching the hand up overhead. Nice big stretch. And reaching down and around. You can roll over to face the other side. I'm just going to push myself up so that you can still see me. So again, hands out in front in a long prayer position. We're breathing in. Trace that hand up overhead and then breathe out. We twist through the upper torso. Bring that right hand down around, creating that semicircle. Let's breathe in here. And breathe out. Breathe in here. Stay for an extra breath, but there's absolutely no harm breathing in. It's just too good of a stretch. And then breathing out, let's reach up and over. Same again, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's go back. Breathing in, reach that hand up. Breathing out, reach up and over. Same again, breathe in the last time. Breathe out. Breathe in here. Exhale here. And then let's go back, breathing in. Breathing out. Let's come back to the start. What we're going to do is push up. And we're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose. So you're going to have those knees out to the side. If you want, you can have a pillow in underneath your forehead if that is comfortable. If you don't want to do that, you can just reach your hands down onto the ground or forehead onto the ground with the hands. So just whatever feels good, whatever feels most comfortable. You might even want this in underneath your hips as well. That could be more comfortable for you to rest your chest down onto. Just playing around with it so that you just feel nice and supported, whichever pose you're going for. And just taking a few deep breaths here. Just in your own time, not forcing any particular breathing cadence or pace. It's just about relaxing. Just again, noticing if your jaw's clenched, maybe around your eyes are clenched. If your shoulders are hunched up toward your ears, just try and relax those down. Maybe just giving you a little bit of a roll through the shoulders if you've got the space to do so. We're going to walk the hands out towards the left-hand side now. A little bit of a deeper lat stretch. You're going to rotate the palm of the hand of the right hand up towards the ceiling and then sink down. So again, I like to place that cheek on my bicep, but that is totally optional. You can just have the head resting down on the ground if that feels more comfortable for you. Let's walk out towards the other side now. And then drop the head down. Just really focus on trying to get that stretch to the lat. And again, we're not breathing any particular way here. We're just doing what feels good for us. You can walk hands back in towards the center again if you want to. What we're going to do is come forward into a puppy pose. So a couple of different options here. There's just a traditional puppy pose here. Elbows are resting on the mat just in front a little bit so that your hips are up towards the ceiling. Your forehead is resting down. You want to place a pillow under your forehead, you can do that. If you want to place your elbows and your pillow and your forehead onto the pillow or the bolster, you can do that. And then what you can also do is go a little bit deeper into it, into a tricep stretch. So you can just place the hands behind the head. You can try and drop the chest down a little bit. Maybe resting the hands on the back, whichever kind of feels good here. If this doesn't feel good, you can just go back to a normal child's pose, whichever you want to do. But we're just going to stay in this position. So just make sure you're comfortable. Whatever that is for you. And we're looking to get that stretch through the triceps and the lats here. So just making sure that that's where we're feeling the stretch. Just think about that chest melting down towards the ground. Maybe the forehead and chin melting into the ground. Trying to keep the belly soft. Trying to relax the pelvic floor. We're going to come out of that. You can sink back into a child's pose if you want, or what we can do is come forward and we can go into a reclined butterfly or frog pose. So if you've got another pillow handy or a bolster, bolsters are perfect for this. But if you don't have a bolster, what you do is just kind of place two pillows like that. Maybe get another pillow in on top. Bed pillows are also fantastic for this as well. If you have one or two of those as kind of longer pillows. What we're going to do is bring the soles of the feet together, drop the knees out to the side, and let's just recline back. So again, what we're looking for here is that you feel supported. So you want to make sure that the lower back doesn't feel like it has too much pressure. So if it does, you can just come into a normal Savasana or lying down. Again, this just kind of hip opening is option for those who want to do it for when it feels good. Just make sure that lower back is supported. You can close the eyes. You can bring the hands out to the side, hands facing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to take some slow, steady breaths. So breathing in, breathing out. On the next exhale, just try and breathe out through the mouth nice and forcefully. Let's do that again. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then just try and keep the jaw relaxed, the eyes relaxed, the neck relaxed, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the upper arms, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and relaxing the fingers. Relaxing the chest, the upper back, and keeping the stomach relaxed. Feeling that lower back relax, soften, the glutes relax. Yield the hips open and relax. Feel the upper legs relax. The calves relax. The ankles. And then the feet and toes relax. Again, just doing your own quick body scan. From the top of your head down towards your fingertips and toes. Just noticing if anything feels tight. Notice if you're holding tension. If you can maybe invite your body to release that tension. But if it's not ready to, that's totally fine as well. Just acknowledging it and then moving on as you continue down through your body. Scanning each section. And then just relaxing. Feeling light, feeling open, and feeling relaxed. We're just going to start wiggling our fingers and our toes, whatever position you're in. If your knees were out to the side, you bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. We're just maybe gently rocking the hips side to side again, if that feels good for us. Maybe hugging one knee in towards the chest. And then hugging the other knee in towards the chest. Reaching maybe the hands up overhead again. This is all optional, but if it feels good, please go for it. And then just rolling over onto your side. Pushing ourselves gently up into that seated position. And then we're done taking a rest there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining my chill flow. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully see you again soon.